Mm.
We live? I think we live. We live. Yeah, we live. We here. We here.
Oh, okay, let's go.
We're live.
Go time. This is.
Let's do it.
Yeah, they said, yo, let's start the show a little early, man.
No
Damn.
better time than the present.
Welcome.
Happy
welcome.
to be back.
Thanks, Mike.
Why
D,
not?
what up?
No warning needed.
Let's get to it, man. Happy Monday. It's January 23rd, 2023. We're blessed to be here.
Yes.
We're blessed to have you here. It's been an eventful week. So the last 7 days have been pretty eventful, as I'm sure you probably have seen on some of your Instagram stories. Met a lot of people in the past 7 days, fostered a lot of relationships, which is interesting because the last time we were here, we were talking about relationships and showing up and being there for people and taking time out because you never know who you're going to run into. And
Yes, my boy. I'm sorry. The debate is over with.
And we ran into some people. We definitely ran into some people, man. So got a lot to talk about. Market is doing pretty well. NASDAQ has gone over 200 points again today. Friday closed out pretty well. Shout out to everybody that is investing in NASDAQ over the past week or so. So some promising times ahead for us, man. We're looking forward to sharing the knowledge today.
So let's just do this before we start. How's the volume? How's the volume? Let me give feedback. How is the volume?
Want to make sure we're good.
Yeah, because I don't even
Get y'all this
want.
fire tonight.
I don't even want to.
You don't want them DMs?
Yeah, man. Can't.
How y'all go to Davos so we can't hear you?
Okay.
I hear Russ better than you. No.
Okay. Everybody sound good? Can you turn Ian up a little bit so I can hear him a little better?
Let's do it.
Turn my headphones down, my mic up. What big you say?
That's Jay.
1, 2. Oh, Jay.
Turn me up, turn the headphones down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ian, let me hear you say something.
Mic check 1, 2.
All right.
1, 3.
Yeah.
And if I made you money, please put yes in chat. Let's get to
They
it.
said we good.
All right. So a lot to talk about today. So first and foremost, well, we'll talk about that later on. But we got a big week at EYL. We have Black Bread Company tomorrow. So this is a dope story of entrepreneurship. This goes back to the original roots of Earn Your Leisure, highlighting entrepreneurs. So we met these gentlemen in Chicago. So they are entrepreneurs out of Chicago that decided to start a bread company. To my knowledge, they're the only black-owned bread company of substance in America.
Mm-hmm.
And they produce bread. They have loaves of bread on the shelves, and bread is actually $1 billion industry. If you really think about it, it's one of these essential products that even, to get your daily bread, right? Like it's one of these things where you use bread, English muffins and sandwiches and so many different things where you don't even think about in the school system, in the prison system. It's probably the most used food item.
Yeah.
And
Top 3, definitely.
yeah, so it's like, who would have ever thought to start a bread company? But they started one. They started a bread company, and it's doing well. It's called the Black Bread Company. And it was really dope conversation about how to actually make bread. They have a distributor They have a warehouse where it's actually made. You know, bread is something that actually, you know, you can't have on the shelf for too long because it goes bad. So they got to have, you know, a whole system to get it out in a couple of days. They work with the cruise ships. They get in government contracts.
Yo, crazy.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think I said this during the episode. It was like every now and then we come across some entrepreneurs and we're like, yo, I never even thought of it like that. I remember hearing when Alex was doing with trucking. I'm like, yo, we see trucks all the time. And we never thought of it as a business. And when they started explaining how they were like revolutionizing bread, I'm just like, wait, you're right. We use this everywhere. Like you said, when we go on vacation, if somebody is at school, right, bread is used every single day of the year. Even in the summer it's used. You talked about the prison systems. You talked about cruise ships. You talked about hotel. It's used every day all throughout the world. And I never thought like, yo, this is a viable business. So I'm glad that they're breaking the barriers, and I'm glad that they're going to open this lane up so other people can look and say, all right, well, this is an idea that maybe we can embark on, or say like, yo, how can we help in this industry as well? Because there's plenty of jobs you can do inside the industry. So this is one of them ones. This is definitely one of them ones. Yeah,
it is. So I encourage everybody, check that out. That's tomorrow at 8:00, the Black Bread Company. And we have to note that we will be in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Tomorrow we'll be there. We'll be there all week.
Y'all ready to get out that cold, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little breezy up here. A little breezy up here.
Yeah, gray skies. Ready to say goodbye to the gray skies for a little while.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's the ROI conference. And it's really, really dope. And we're looking forward to being there. I think Pinky's gonna be there.
Yes.
A bunch of people's gonna be there. So
Ashley gonna be there, you know that?
Yeah, as an attendee.
Yep.
So if you're interested, go to roi.hello7.co. I believe that's the website. It's the ROI Millionaire Summit, and it starts tomorrow. So we will be in Puerto Rico.
I know.
Phenomenal.
San Juan. I'm home. Is Nori out there?
Nori he was out there. Shout out to Nori. I just checked out the next episode of Drink Champs. You might have some familiar clothing on.
I saw it.
Shout out to Matt Apple.
Shout out to My Expert Opinion. Shout out to the whole team, and shout out to Drink Champs, the family.
Yeah. So he's out there celebrating Biggs' birthday. So happy birthday to Biggs.
He's out where celebrating his birthday?
In San Juan.
He's still out there?
Well, he was. Maybe he's. I don't know. We gotta check in with him. I'll text him.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We headed. All right. Disclaimer.
Yes. Our content. Well, you know how this works. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. Okay? It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a message brought to you by the good brothers at Earn Your Leisure and the good brother Ian Dunlap, the master investor himself. Please continue to do the research, and when it's great research, share it. And if you feel inclined, please, cite where you got the research from, because that helps everybody out.
Yes.
Ian, any announcements?
Yeah, Stock Club call will be Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central. I'm looking. We had an amazing call last week. Shout out to my guy Billy. He was on 3 hours, I think. So I don't know. Tomorrow we may vibe again for like 2.5. Break down some gems on how you can make some big money in this market. I'm enjoying my time in my home away from home. Playa, Medellin, Dubai, Ghana. I can have the states. And if I made you money, please put yes in chat. Oh, and me and Murder Beats. Something coming real soon. That Panther soundtrack. Let's get to it.
So Ian look like he been on his push-up game.
Yeah.
You been on your push-up game, Ian?
Champagne.
Ladies be out here be like, KFK Waffle. I'm like, really? Mamita que rica. I ain't playing in 23. I'm not playing. What are we doing?
Do me.
Boy, big facts. About to get big five. GQ coming soon. Anna Wintour, call me. I'm ready. Come on.
So let's
And this is Awa. Before y'all do the pineapple.
No pineapple today.
Awa. Yes, none.
So let's get into this. So before we start, we have an announcement. So if you was at MSG, you I'm sure you're aware that Ian He promised people to get into the stock club.
A crazy offer.
Yeah.
Say it.
So I'm personally not a fan of doing that.
Okay.
To be completely honest with you about it, because there's so many different variables that's out of our control, and then it's like if we don't, that's why I don't never do that. But
I won't do it again. Trust me, I'm team player this year.
Not recommended.
So
Sorry.
well, Ticketmaster did not give us the emails, and I guess they have a new policy where they're not giving us the emails. But we will rectify the situation by doing this. We put together a form that you can go to and fill out, and all you have to do is submit your ticket confirmation number, so we can verify that you were actually there. And then that's how we're going to do it, because we can't get the emails from Ticketmaster. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pin the link.
Yes.
The link is pinned. The link
At the top of the
is
comment.
pinned and is also in the description of this video. If you were at MSG, if you weren't at MSG, don't even try it, because it's not gonna work. But if you were at MSG, go to the link that was pinned, fill out the information. Part of the information is they're gonna ask you for your confirmation number for your ticket. You can go to your email, find that, put that in. We can verify that you were actually purchased a ticket, and that's that. That's how we're gonna do it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most sensible way to do it. Obviously, had we known that Ticketmaster wasn't giving out emails, we wouldn't have done it that way. But we had to make an adjustment, and I think this is a fair one. So all you need to do is show that you were there. That's pretty much it. I think that's fair.
Jersey, I did it for you. Look at the strain
It's
I
Jersey
caused
fault.
Yes.
Big Jersey.
Yes. It won't happen again.
Won't happen.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry.
Yes. Let's not, because I understand people get very passionate about this, but
We can do a golden ticket for one person. That'd be fire.
Golden ticket idea. Yeah, I like
Not
that.
bad.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I may give a Rolex away or something in it.
Please do not make these promises.
No,
like,
no,
look,
don't even say that.
any promises
Sure,
made by
that
Ian,
will make sure.
any promises made by
Got
Ian,
lots
please
of
do.
that are allowed to replace
Please,
you.
please do not DM Earn Your Leisure, Rashad, or Troy. I cannot.
The thoughts shared
I
by
cannot.
Mike, clip this out.
Please,
Stop.
please.
Stop. Time out. I need to breathe.
Please.
Time out.
All right. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. A lot to talk about. It is a lot to talk about.
Absolutely.
So what are the top 5 lessons from Paul Tudor Jones to use in this market to get rich? And can you explain who he is? Because he's interesting, and we'll talk about him. But can you explain to who he is and some of the top lessons?
Yeah. Paul Tudor Jones is Rashad. I promise you, I'm done stressing you this year. So. I'm gonna run
Can we
everything
turn
through
Ian's mic up? They're saying that Ian's mic is low. Is that possible?
Let me know.
Yeah, we could do that.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Better now.
Yeah, guys, you just talk, and we got you.
Okay. Paul Tudor Jones, he is the Michael Jordan of futures trading. So in 1987, when the entire market fell apart, he made a killing. He's been making a killing ever since then. Everyone go Google what is Paul Tudor Jones' net worth and put it in chat. At one point, he was making $30 million a month for his company. But he's really great in these down cycles. We'll talk about King Griffin later. So lesson number 1 is be prepared for volatility. A lot of times as investors and traders, we think volatility is bad. Volatility is great if you know how to use it. Number 2, you got to stay focused on the big picture. So even though we know that the market is going to drop, I called it 6 months prior to, you can really get high off of making gains, off of shorting, but you have to know when to reverse out. I think we're starting to see a bottom. We're floating heavily to the upside. So once your trades are done, let's say you're doing puts or you're shorting futures to the downside, and another account, you have to have your long-term portfolio to make sure that the market is going up in your favor. So you swing trade to the downside, but invest for the long-term on the upside. So ideally, you want to be in a position where you can make 500% to 1,000% shorting short-term, and then over 5 years hit 1,500 to 2,000% in your long term and win in both markets. Um, Never, number three, never try to predict the market, but always go with the predominant direction. I think a lot of times people get so caught up in trying to guess where the market is going to go, opposed to being in flow with the market. You should be able to look at any chart in 5 seconds and say, this is going up. Delta Airlines, it's going to slide down. CCL, it popped up, but it's going to come back down. Number four, one that he doesn't talk about a lot in a down market like this, your target should be 100 to 500% return on investment. So if the market is sliding down when everyone is panicking, you should be going nuts looking for opportunities in which you can get 100 to 500% returns. And some of you have done that at Red Panda, some earners have done it. I'm incredibly proud of you guys. And number five, use leverage carefully. Leverage can hurt if you don't know how to use it. But if you have a high win ratio, let's say you win 80% of your trades for every dollar you put into the market on your swing trades or day trading account, if you're getting 5x, 7x, it's then to use the capital, use some leverage, trade bigger size so you can hit bigger gains. And then that way you'll be able to make more money in a down market and take advantage of these once in a lifetime opportunities. So those are like the five biggest lessons I've taken away and implemented from the MJ of futures trading. Paul Tudor Jones.
Can I throw a bonus in there?
Absolutely.
This is something that was great. Those are all great. And just reading up on Paul, I see a lot of people in YouTube putting up his that 7.5 billion. That's impressive. But one of those
Not
things,
bad.
and this is something early on in trading that I even had to learn, was decrease the trades amount when you're not doing well.
Absolutely.
Like, decrease your trade amount when you're not doing well. A lot of times we'll get into trades and it's not doing well, and we'll say, all right, well, I'll average down, but I'll average down with more money, right? Because I want to supplement for what I just lost. When it's not doing well, decrease the trade amount
Let it go.
and decrease how many times you're trading.
Absolutely.
It comes with the discipline of trading. And so, like, if you're not doing it, it's like, what does that even mean? But it's one of those things, like, and when you're doing it, it's just kind of natural. Like, when you see loss, you're like, I need to get gains. I need to get gains, and I need to get them quick. But the best offense a lot of times, like Shadi says, is your defense. And so when you see that, you're not going to put in a large amount, right? Or even when you're doing well, this is the reverse side of it. When you are doing well, you invest small amounts until it's proven wrong.
And step back.
Right? Until it's proven wrong.
Yep.
Invest small amounts. There's nothing wrong with 5% gains, 6% gains. Invest small amounts until you're proven wrong or until you start to see retracements or you start to see reversals. It's okay. This is part of being patient and it's part of being a smarter investor. And so they're learned skills, but we're telling you this because obviously I've been through it. And so hopefully you don't have to go through it. That was just a little bonus for you.
It's like hooping. Like if I'm 0 for 9 from 3, a layup helps build confidence.
Exactly.
Let alone a layup and one, and I make a free throw. I'm like, boy, this 22-footer looking nice. Like, even if you're trading, and somebody asked me yesterday, like, if I have a small account, what should I do? I'm like, a lot of times having a smaller account, you have an advantage because it won't cripple you if you lose, let's say, $500 to $1,000. But if you get 3-4 wins in a row, and if you can learn to be able to get some size eventually and still win with small contract sizes that you're trading, that's the best of both worlds. There's nothing wrong with, let's say, like, if you do 2 contracts on an option, that's a year out, do another 2, then do 4 contracts on the future on the Dow, and then 8 on NASDAQ. It may not seem like a lot in one trade, but if you win all 4 trades, you'll have 15, 16, 20,000 really fast, even trading small size.
That basketball analogy is perfect. The other one is the baseball analogy, right? Like, do you want to win the batting title or do you want to be the person who strikes out and hits 40 home runs?
Or I don't know what earn your love coming out, but it's like a relationship analogy too. Like if you averaging down is like going back to somebody who cheated on you. Like for what? You want the double the misery? Let it go. First time you got it at the wrong time. Let it go. Pick another asset that will love you back. Please.
Another asset that'll love you back. I like that.
Another
like
asset.
Very important.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. Very important.
Boy.
Okay, let's talk about this. Netflix. What do we think of Netflix earnings and the fact that they have the highest revenue per employee? What does that even mean?
For every employee that they have, this is like the ESPN version of LeBron scored the most points on a Thursday afternoon when Shannon Sharp was wearing a blue sweater type
Shout
thing.
out to Uncle Shannon.
Shout out to love the sweater. But for out of every tech employee, they're per employee, they're generating $3 million per employee. It's an interesting stat to look at. I think Apple was at 2.5, Microsoft may be at 2 million. I think the customer I have to, I've been hard on Netflix for the past year. They've been doing good the last 3 months. So I have to say that I was wrong on that. I didn't think the earnings would be that strong. The cost per acquisition was fantastic. They shot up like crazy. I think even the day they were up 4%, they're up to like 357 right now. They still have a way to go to get back to that high of $700, but the acquisition costs were great. The earnings were great. If they can get that debt structure down a little bit, maybe a viable buy over the next couple of months. But yeah, they did great on earnings for sure.
I think one of the things that kind of shocked everybody and shocked Wall Street because their estimates were way off was the amount of paid subscribers. So they had 7.6 million paid subscribers in the fourth quarter. Wall Street was estimating 4.5 million, which is like
they blew it out of the water.
And this is important. We kind of spoke about this. This is the first time that Netflix has had its ad-supported service included in its revenue. And so that's important, right? Because what's happening is that people are signing up for the lower tier that has ad placements, but the people who had like the $9 tier or the $19 tier, they haven't lowered it because they don't want the ads. And so you're not losing customers because of the lower price, which is good. So you keep those customers, but you're actually getting more customers now because you have a new price point. Plus, again, they still haven't gone international yet, so there's still some room for growth. But I think in this quarter here, which is what they're adding in the first quarter of 2023, is the password sharing price point. And so now, like before when I gave, like, I think Shotty has a name on my account. Like you do.
I have a name on your account for what?
Netflix.
Currently?
Yeah, currently. Don't worry about it. I still love you. Yeah, but so like that was something that people normally did, right? So you figured you lose customers, but now they're gonna have a price.
Shotty a whole character, yo.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would lose customers, right? But now there's gonna be a price tier where you can just pay for that, right? So maybe it's $22 instead of $19, and now 4 people can use your Netflix account. And so then again, you're still adding more revenue by keeping the same customer. Plus, as you get more content, and they had some the shows that blew everything out the water in that quarter. Wednesday, if you haven't tuned into that, I'm sure your kid has. That went crazy. They had the Knives Out joint, the Onion with Daniel Craig. That went well. So they've had some content that has done well, and obviously these new
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, these new tiers are doing well for them. The Meghan and Harry story, that did well for them. So. The content is rolling, but these new ad tiers have helped them. So that's why they blew their earnings out the water. So shout out to them. I don't think we didn't put the coffin sign up for them. We just said there was some troubled days ahead, and it seems that they may have righted it, but it's early in 2023. But the fourth quarter was great. First quarter of this year looks like it could be promising too.
Netflix, we will be monitoring the situation. Please hit the like button and share.
Yes, please.
4,400 people. Let's get this bad boy up to 5,000. We are live in the flesh. This is not a pre-recorded video. This is a live vibe. This is a live vibe right now. Going through
flu game,
the latest happenings in the market.
Give it up for Troy Rashad both being sick and still putting up a phenomenal performance.
The show will always go on.
The show must go on.
No matter what. You got to show up no matter what.
No matter what. Let's talk about this. Our friend, EYL alumni, arguably the greatest athlete of all time, gentleman and a scholar, and ambassador for the country of Jamaica.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Very unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Very unfortunate situation, and we wish him the best.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else that's involved in the situation, we wish them the best. But from my understanding, he had a retirement account that was invested in Jamaica.
Yeah, Stocks and Securities Limited, a firm based in Kingston.
$14 million.
12.8.
And it just disappeared.
12,000 is left. 12,000.
So talk about that, and then talk about no, it's not funny.
No, I'm not laughing at it.
That's
crazy.
Yes. So talk about that, and then let's talk about how that could be a learning experience for anybody else. You want to talk about?
Yeah, Troy, you want to go first?
I mean, it's unfortunate. And when I think of it, I think about the history we've had with banks and investing, and this doesn't help it. The government is really the issue here, and I think that's what a lot of the citizens of Jamaica are saying. Like, why are they not outraged? Why is more being done to a national treasure? Because if it can happen to him at that level, it can happen to anybody. But it's interesting to see. I mean, that's one of those things, especially when you're dealing with banks. There's only a certain amount that can be insured. And so we know that. So to have that amount of money in one place, it's just a very unfortunate situation. Now, they said it was his life savings, which made it even worse.
I don't think it was his life savings.
Because I know his net worth, they say, is $80 million, but they said that this was the largest amount of money that he had.
Liquid? Might have been.
Maybe, like $12 million. So, I mean, to be down to 12,000 is, I mean, you can't even fathom that. So it's, I mean, unfortunate and really disheartening is the only two words I can think. For somebody who is just a good dude, man. Like we had some time in Jamaica and we spent with him. Humble dude, gracious with his time, very smart. Is business savvy. Obviously, he has plenty of businesses in Jamaica. Is trying to be an entrepreneur on the music side. So to see this happen to him, like I said, this isn't the everyday person. This is a national treasure to the island of Jamaica. So we gotta get this right, man. I saw Sham. Shout out to Sham, who, we linked up with as well, putting out songs about it to make sure that things get done. And this is one of the things we talked about when we were in Jamaica. Sometimes, the government doesn't, act in the best way or in the best purpose of the people.
I don't want to put it on the government. I'm not sure. If it's private sector, we can't necessarily blame the government.
Well, they're speaking on behalf of it now. They're saying like they're going to do everything that they can now, and they're going to turn every stone that they can to make sure that this is rectified and nobody else is taking advantage of in this way. So, shouts out to Usain.
Okay. Hopefully everything works out. Usain Bolt, great guy.
Solid.
How can people? How can you avoid not getting caught? I don't know what the situation is, so I don't want to speak about it. But how can you get caught and not avoid not getting caught in a Ponzi scheme or avoid getting your money taken in a type of scam situation? What are some things that you should always look out for?
Man, there's no beautiful answer here. When I put this out, when I heard the rumblings like 2 weeks ago, people was like, why didn't he have his money in America? This too can happen in America. The only real answer is to manage your own money. Like, I don't trust anyone with my capital. People make fun of me all the time. They're like, yo, you're the only person I know that'll still write a check. Why don't you just wire and let this I'm like, you let too many people have access to be able to wire funds out or write checks, they will go very fast. Any athlete, entertainer, I will tell you, never give anyone power of attorney over your finances. This is heartbreaking to hear. And then to see what's happening with Bank of America and Chase, and a couple of days ago, money was missing. A lot of these banks were heavily invested in crypto, took some losses, had margin loans, they have to pay the money back in one form or fashion. This is one of the things that we talked about also in 2020 during the recession. Domestic abuse goes up, theft goes up, Ponzi schemes implode, levered accounts blow up, money goes missing. You have to be very mindful. That's why I say you have to check your accounts every single day. And I've also been telling people on Red Panda, like, there's tiers of freedom, but truly, like, there is no real freedom. The more money you get, the more protection mechanisms you need to have in play. So check your accounts every day. Ideally, manage your own. I don't care who the advisor is, who the investor is. You have to know how to be able to do this on your own, so you don't get swindled and don't get POA to anybody. This is heartbreaking though, because he will probably never get that money back.
Yeah. Why'd you lower my mic?
So let me pick up the speaker.
What speaker?
Rashad, we got to get. Can we get Rashad like an award for like best meme moments? Real subtle though. Boy,
little confused. Confused of the situation. Yes.
You have any advice, insights? If he was your client, or if you had a chance to talk to him, like what would you tell him to do, or what course of action would you have him take?
Well, the thing about it is this, and this is why, it's a few different things that go into play here, right? And he had his money in a bank, so it wasn't even like his money was just randomly in some place that you would think would be insecure. But you have to fully vet everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Fully vet everything that you do, and that includes banks, that includes credit unions, that includes investment firms, that includes stocks, forex, whatever you're doing. You have to fully vet it, right? That's the first thing, because sometimes you just take things for granted, and when you start taking things for granted, that's when bad things usually start to happen. So that's the first thing, and of course it's always good to diversify, right? Like looking back on it, it probably wasn't the best decision to have just 12 million in one account. Hindsight is 2020. But especially like if that's the majority of your liquid, you might want to have a few different, accounts and a few different banks. Like even me, I have 3 bank accounts. I have a bunch of different bank accounts, but I have 3 banks. So I have 3 different banks, for a variety of different reasons. But anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like anything can happen. Like it's just real, and it's like So if all 3 banks go down, then it doesn't even matter anyway, because the whole world is going to collapse at that point. But you just got to always diversify. I have 2 brokerage accounts. My son has a different brokerage account. I have 3 banks. Like I'm just you got to be just careful, because here's the thing. Monologue. It's my monologue time.
B.
Yes.
B. We're already zoomed in.
So here's the discouraging thing. The odds of becoming a millionaire in America is 1 every 32 people will become a millionaire. That's 3%. That's not encouraging. But what is encouraging is that especially if you're black, let's just be honest, right? It's almost impossible to become a millionaire. But once you become a millionaire, the odds of you hitting 10 million is inevitable. Because just think about it. Once you have 1 million, how hard is it to get 2 million? Not really that difficult. You just got to flip that. You can just put it in index funds. Might take 7 years, might take 10 years. You'll double your money at some point.
Yeah.
And then once you get 2 million, then you just got to flip that to 4 million.
100%.
Then once you get 4 million, you just got to flip that to 8 million. And then once
No
you get 8
lifestyle
million, you just
creep.
got to flip that to 12 million. It's almost inevitable. You know why a lot of people don't do it? Is because they start doing stupid things. Once you get money, now you start becoming stupid. And it's like, this is something that this is just the old school rule. No, this is just the old school rule where it's like,
come on, Shook Johnny.
Don't buy anything that can't be sold. Now,
No, you got to stop there. Just pause for a second. So they really you got to let that soak in.
never buy anything that can't be sold. Now, the word never, of course, that's a little strong, but try not to buy too many things that can't be sold, because eventually you might need to sell stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is advice for the rappers and the athletes. And it's like, yeah, you're buying these things. You're buying a bunch of clothes, $300,000 a month on clothes, bust down watches,
Stupid.
Lamborghinis.
Stupid.
So when I say like don't like what can be sold? Stocks, plain Jane watches, real estate. These are things that
Bonds,
if you're in a jam,
businesses.
you might need to liquidate at some point.
Assets.
Only buy things that can be sold. And it's like even going back to like just from a security standpoint, and this is something that, you know, they need to have like a class for like new people that get money with like rappers and stuff like that. And if you really think about it, like I was talking to one of my friends and I'm like, all these rappers, like if you really think about it, you only get robbed for one or two things. You get robbed for a chain, a flooded chain, or like a bust down watch, but they can't take what you don't have. You know the best way to not get robbed? Don't have it.
Don't have nothing on.
They can't take what you don't have. Like we was in a dinner the other day. It was me, Troy, another gentleman. I'm like, we could have $1 billion between us three right now, and a robber come in, he gonna walk right past us because we don't have anything that you can take. They're not gonna hold you hostage. It's not like a third world country. They're gonna hold you hostage. But they will try to kill you for a necklace that really costs $20,000 in the grand scheme of things. You know what's so crazy about a necklace that costs $20,000? It just looks like it costs a lot of money. You probably got to spend $10,000 a month in security just to secure it. So over the course of a couple of months, you're going to spend more money in security than your jewelry costs. And you can't even sleep at night because you're so scared that somebody's going to try to take it from you. So it's like this goes back to just having a certain level of insecurity. You're doing this because you're insecure and you're trying to make up for it. But I promise you, the same girl that you could have got with the necklace, you could have got without the necklace. You really could have.
Big Fendi.
You really could have. No, you really could have.
I bagged a bunch of them with no chain.
But so you really got to start thinking about it. Like, is it really that cool?
Not worth it.
Is it worth it? It might be, but to me, it's not worth it. And like if you really start to think about it, like it's just that simple. They can't take what you don't have. So it's like, and also, you could walk through any neighborhood and have nothing on and you're going to be okay. As soon as you put this costume jewelry on, and it might not even be real. But now what you're doing is that you're taunting people that are starving, and now you're making yourself a target. So if you're not even properly secured, now you're really going to be on a dinner plate. And to actually not be on a dinner plate, you got to spend so much money in security that's more of a liability than anything.
I'm going to title this, don't end up on a dinner plate.
Only buy things that can be sold.
And that's tier 1 of thievery. Tier 2 are the investment professionals, advisors that may steer you wrong, record labels. If you die, they get all your royalties in perpetuity, your masters. Kevin Garnett got taken for 30-something million, right? Tim Duncan got taken for 40-something million. You think Usain got taken by accident? I really believe when these deals come through, and this is why I hate the handler thing. The handler thing in Hollywood was created to keep the artist or entertainer drugged up. That's why I want no handlers. I think the agents a lot of times hand off the money and the contracts amongst their peer groups and say, hey, let's wait 4 or 5 years and then drain them dry. Nicolas Cage has 722 movies on Netflix. Doesn't have the net worth that he should. His money was squandered, yes, but advisors and people that had POA over his account stole a lot of money as well. You got to be careful. Watch for the thieves.
Be careful.
Yeah. Cautionary tale.
Yep.
The last thing, remember that. Act like you scrambling. Only buy things that can be sold. Save 3 times before you spend. Save money. Learn how to save. You don't. I'm telling you, you spending monny on things. You're spending money on things that when you look back on it, it's not even worth it. And I'm guilty of it. Like I spent so much money on clothes. It's not worth it. You can't be an extremist. You gotta have fun. You gotta take a vacation. You gotta buy clothes, but be careful. Because all of the money that you're spending on women, on clothes, on cars, on jewelry, when the rain comes, because it's gonna rain.
Mm-hmm.
When the rain
point.
comes,
You need an umbrella.
The rain came, the pain came.
be mindful.
Yeah.
Be mindful. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ken Griffin.
That was a fire segment, though.
Appreciate
Can I talk about it? Hey, man.
it. It's needed.
Juries away. Most juries away. Smoke clothes. Most
Well,
cars.
because you know what, and we'll talk about our journey at the World Economic Forum, but it's not even respected. That's another thing too. It's like you doing things that it's respected in our neighborhoods,
Yeah.
but it's
You end up looking like a clown.
Yeah.
like a mascot.
Yeah.
Like a mascot. Like imagine a mascot. Imagine if you was in the street right now and you saw the mascot for, I don't know, the Atlanta Braves or somebody, whoever. Like
Bulls or something.
if you just saw a random mascot walking down the street, you would look like, yo, what the hell is a mascot? So when you're around people with real money, and this is how you look, like a mascot.
I think that's the first sign of that somebody has just come into money. Like especially in the rooms and the streets we were walking, you didn't see any of that. You didn't see any of it. And I'm not knocking anybody that does that, but it was one of those signs like, okay, well, we don't want people to know we have it. We have it.
But if you know, you know.
But that's what I'm saying. If you know, you know.
When the dude came up to us, he said, nice watch. Let's start the conversation.
The first thing we're going to talk about.
Let's start the conversation
there,
based off of your watch.
Yeah. This is the nice watch table.
No diamonds. Be mindful,
please.
Ken Griffin, Citadel, had the biggest
Shout out
return
Citadel.
in hedge fund history, $16 billion. Legendary situation.
Absolutely.
Citadel, number one hedge fund. Talk about that.
Number two was well, Ian, go ahead, and then I'll talk about number two.
Talk about that.
I just want to say shout out to JP Morgan, shout out to Citadel, Bank of America. I told you, Ken is who y'all think Chapo is. So like, got his hands into Robinhood, amazing. Retail traders want to dominate. Let me get a little piece of that. People want to be in crypto. Let me get a little piece of that and put my hands in there. Market wants to fall apart. Going back to the Paul Tudor Jones lesson, you have to be in flow with the market. Even the best time to make the most cash is when there's chaos. There's a reason I kept screaming that Ken is one of those ones. And John Paulson's trade was amazing. That was classified as the best trade ever up until this point. But to knock out $16 billion in a down market to produce incredible alpha for clients when most people think that it wasn't possible, I can't do nothing but tip my hat off to it. This is a legendary trade, legendary quarter and year for them. That's why I would say follow the money. Outside of the Robinhood debacle, we didn't hear much from Ken. Now compare that to Kathy Woods of 2020. I love Kathy. I told you about the soon demise, but the best investors, best CEOs that I like the most, once again, are really quiet. Like it's a quiet display of wealth. That headline of $16 billion looks better than whatever proposed returns that Kathy was going to have in 2020. Follow the money. Go look at their portfolio. See the top 5 things they're invested in. For my traders that are super serious, go reverse engineer everything that they're doing and everything that they traded to see at what levels, what percentages down they were looking to short and buy back long. Kudos to Citadel.
Yeah, $16 billion is a record.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot. Ray Dalio was number 2 at $6 billion. You might have heard of him.
Not bad.
Heard of him.
Shout out Ray.
Yeah. Anything you want to add?
I'm gonna put them on to do.
I mean, we just got to tip a hat to that. $16 billion in 2022, when most people looked at the market as it was a bear market. This is why hedge funds, make sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a couple people who did not report though. So I know George Santos. They didn't have his accumulation of wealth for the year. So we'll see where he comes in at. But yeah, $16 billion.
I don't know if it's gonna be 16.
I don't know if it's gonna be 16,
like
but it could be
16. A hell of a number.
So we'll see.
Not bad. You have to follow the flow. I know sometimes you make investing so hard, but if you see, and that's why I say, even for everyone listening, even if you're not the biggest fan of me, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like if I say we see a sector is going to crash, your first thought should be, let me short that sector until I see a reversal point.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't like the sector. I'm like, just let's make money as it goes down. Great. If it turns around, let's go back up. Even when I said Bitcoin 9 grand, like if Bitcoin goes to 9 grand, I'm going to put a lot of money in it there because I know a lot of institutions will buy. If we look at crude went to like a historic low, 2020. It went back to the 1986 lows, and then it popped back up to the 50% level, and now it's been sliding back down. Like there's opportunity. That's all I would say. There's no such thing as a bad market, just bad entries into it.
Yeah, and another thing, this is important too, and this is something that I take pride in is like becoming familiar with these names. So like Ken Griffin, Paul Tudor Jones, George Soros. It's important to know these names, Ray Dalio, because you never know when you can be in a situation when you're gonna see them. Like that's one of those things. Like I'll look in the room, like I always tap Shotty, like, yo, you see who's in the room? He's like, who? And I'm like, yo, he's the CEO of JP Morgan, and we just happy to be in the room with him. Like it's important to be familiar with them. I mean, I would argue that if obviously if like LeBron walked in the room, we would recognize that. If Jason Tatum or one of these guys, Greek, obviously just for the hype, but any of these NBA All-Stars, if they walked in the room, we would know it. It would be no question we would know who it was. We don't know who the wealthiest people, some of the wealthiest people in the world are. And we could be in the room. So my thing is like, let's familiarize ourselves with that too. Let's study it like we study statistics from who's averaging the most points per game.
And it matters way more.
That's also by design too, though, because we met a guy. When we met a guy, he's a billionaire, and he told us he's black. He's a black billionaire, and nobody's ever heard of him. And he said, rich is loud, wealth is quiet. Rich is loud, wealth is quiet. What is the benefit of being well known? If you up, let's think about this for a minute. If you're up $4 billion, right? 5 billion, 50 billion, 1 billion,
400 million.
What's the real benefit of being well known? Because the only thing that's going to happen is people are going to start hating on you, and then you're going to worry about people trying to come at you, and then the government's going to attack you, and then it's like it's going relatives and everybody's going to come, and you're going to become a target when you can just walk through Target, the grocery store, Target, by yourself, no hassle. It's like
is that
Dan Cathy?
Yeah, but is that well known or famous, right? Because I'm not even saying well known. I'm saying that we should be aware of who they are, especially in the investment world. And I would say a majority of people, especially the people we ran into over the past week, they're probably unfamiliar to a lot of people, right? My thing, I'm not even asking them, hey, you guys should be famous. I'm just saying, like, we should know that, right? This, for instance, we went into Palantir, and we'll probably talk about them later, right? Would the average person recognize the CEO of Palantir?
No, not.
Right, and he's not trying to be famous, but he's doing something. He's doing something involved and has created a company, or is the CEO of a company that can change the way life is on Earth, right? And we're not familiar with that. So my thing is like, let's become more familiar with that. Let's get more familiar with the CEOs of some of these companies so that we know what's going on, right? Like it's cool to be entertained, but it's more impressive to be educated.
Isn't cool to be entertained though? But that also goes back to, so I don't know if everyone really wants to be rich or be wealthy.
That might be true.
I told you, like the biggest PR companies that I know right now are the ones that the wealthy are paying to be out of the press. Can anyone name me 4 executives at Saudi Aramco right now?
You know what I'm saying?
Which, if you put all the levels to it,
here's the truth. You want the truth, or you want the fairy tale. The truth is that you're not going to know these people unless you're in that space. The average person is not going to spend time. The average person is just trying to pay their bills and trying to just get through the weekend and trying to put their kid through grammar school. They don't have time to look up hundreds of CEOs and. You learn that.
Yes, they do.
You learn that. You get face recognition when you're in the space. When you at dinner, when you end cocktail hours, that's when you get that. You learn.
But how do they learn? LeBron,
time to do it?
Kyrie, they have the time.
No, they really don't.
What they choose to do it is different.
They can make the time.
No, they really don't.
Yeah, they do.
They really don't.
They got time to talk crazy in the comments.
Yeah.
No, they got.
You got a question.
It's about what you're doing with the time. It's more than. It's not that they don't have the time.
I'll stay in the house 6 years.
Yeah.
And grinding 6 years. People are like, oh, he tripping, da da da. Like, no one has to agree with my philosophy. one thing no one can ever say is that I'm not free. Playa, Dubai, Ghana, yo, you have to make the sacrifice. Knowing what Ja Morant did against Greek freak, that shit won't matter in 2 days for your life.
It's a fish trying to swim up off a waterfall. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because of course Ja Morant, that's in your face. That's publicized. That's on social media. It's on ESPN. It's there. It's documented. It's right there. It's easy. You don't even have to try to research it to know who Ja Morant is. He's.
They can Google who Peter Thiel is.
No, I'm just saying a couple top CEOs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. But that you're not gonna know a vast majority of CEOs. You're not. It's not gonna happen
unless you're interested, right? Because
you got to get interested.
Yeah. When entertaining you trains you, right? That's what they said.
It's not entertaining.
And I said it. Listen, once you pass 18, if you're a man, you need to stop being a fan of other men. That includes me too. You can't be idolizing other men that are doing ish out in the world that you should be doing.
No pun intended.
Let's talk about this. What do we think of 20 stocks? Let's talk about 20 stocks that are the top performers for the first 3 weeks of the year. So for the first 3 weeks of 2023, let's go over the top 20 stocks so far for the first 3 weeks of 2023. 6,000 people on YouTube. Hit the like button, please.
Appreciate y'all. So I'm going to go through the tickets real fast. I won't give prices. I will give the entries to, well, I'll give one entry. I'll give the entries to our group chat and to Stock Club. The first one is WBD. Long term, I don't like it. United Airlines. It's done well this year. Long term is an investment. No. Number 3, Carnival Cruise Lines. No. It's done great this year. I still wouldn't touch it long term. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. No, don't touch it. Expedia. Ticker EXPE. Yes. I like Expedia a lot. You can put that one on your watch list as a potential buy. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ticker is SIVB. Love. NVIDIA, yes.
Got upgraded.
WDC.
Got upgraded today.
Not bad. Hope for the long term. The AI feature is pretty good, and I think they'll do good over these next couple of years. WDC is a no. Match.com, Tinder, Bumble, etc. No. If it gets back to the IPO price at that exact level, I wouldn't mind touching it anywhere higher than that. It's a mistake. Ticker MKTX, yes. I like. Win Resort Group. I only like it at $27.59. Any other price besides that is a mistake. Paramount, no. IDXX, yes. FCX, I do like. Yes. Disney, I only like at $58.15. GE, no. Delta Airlines, no. And the last ticker is CE. Is yes. So the yeses are CE, Disney at $58.15, FCX, IDXX, MKTX, NVIDIA, SIVB, and Expedia. Even though all of these have done well the first couple of weeks of this year, those are the only ones I would touch for long-term and or swing trade.
Okay.
Yeah, you said Match.com. Did you see the Tinder thing? $500 a month.
$500 what for?
For what though?
Yeah,
for the dates
package.
Yeah, it's like a subscription service. Now you can pay $500 a month to be at the highest tier in the dating thing on Tinder.
They gonna do it?
Yeah, $500. So that's $6,000 a year. I
so?
don't know what the perks that come with that. I'm not really sure how that
perks. They better hand deliver.
Y'all still gonna get swiped left a lot.
Hand deliver Princess Jasmine.
You better bring it to me
on a magic carpet.
Like for the Love Arrangement for $500 a month.
So $500 for the subscription. Princess Jasmine.
I go right to Williamsburg
on the carpet.
Magic carpet front door. No Aladdin. Just Jasmine.
No Aladdin.
No. No Aladdin. Just
That's
Jasmine.
Crazy.
$500 a month. $500 a month to be on a dating app.
For some maybes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
How does Tinder? Tinder's like you swipe and you say yes?
Yeah, you swipe right.
Why are you asking me? I'm not a Tinder swindler.
I'm asking my single friends. I don't know.
I'm not a Tinder
they swipe right. They do my shit like this.
One finger?
Gay Wild boy. Girl, I like him. He be talking on the
that's
show
the
about
guy,
like
right?
him.
That's
I
the
know he's
guy.
really sweet. Yeah,
You really
know.
got a Tinder account, bro?
Nah,
I'm about
hell
to
no.
say, yo,
You gonna be-
they about to be
come
in
see
your
me in
Tinder
person.
account going crazy right now.
Enjoys
Now y'all been hitting DMs though.
enjoys investing, walks in the park,
Yeah,
Long trips to Mexico.
and China.
studies stock market 12 hours a day,
Yes.
is looking for a
Yes.
partner.
I ain't looking
With
for nothing.
good
I'm gonna let
credit.
God deliver to me what I need in my
credit,
life.
babe.
I'm
Good
saying,
credit.
fact, big
Good
Fendi.
credit, babe.
Yes. Vegan.
I ain't doing like I did the last time. You gonna earn these things.
Vegan is preferred.
I ain't doing none of the first 7 months.
Vegan is preferred.
I
Travel
saw what you did for her doing for me.
schedule must be flexible.
Big
Goes
Fendi.
the bio. It's done.
There you go.
Yep.
Boy.
All we need now is a profile pic.
These are just jokes. Shout out to my exes won't need this. I'm just joking. Shout out to you. Spit it to
All
top,
jokes,
bro.
y'all. All jokes. All jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for the first episode of Earn Your Love. Yes, that's what I'm going with. Shotty, back me
Earn
up.
your love on the way.
Seems like you're cussed out.
Stop taking formats. We started this relationship vibe. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Love.
Don't take this relationship thing and
Love.
run with it. Relationship thing is my bag. Let's not go crazy with this relationship talk. I pioneered this.
Everyone thinks they're good.
I walked through the fire for this, man. They damn near tried to cancel me.
You got
They tried to
crucified.
cancel me. Crazy?
We're not going to let him.
Thank God I ain't saying what my first day was, but I ought to be.
We ain't going to let him, man.
And yeah, when you talk.
Hit the like button and share. Okay, let's talk about Davos, Switzerland. Let's get into
Let's
this.
do this. Let's do
Yes.
this.
First and foremost, shout out to Dre.
Yes. Dre Lion.
This is.
The legend.
Andre Lion.
The legend.
Cool and Dre. Shout out to Cool and Dre.
Yes.
But we got to give a special shout out to my brother Dre. It was his vision to put this together, to invite us out there.
Oh, that's
Shout out to
fire.
our family, A16, Z.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jadine.
Yes.
Shout out to Megan.
Happy birthday, Megan.
Shout out to
Happy
Megan.
birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Shout out to Forbes,
Yes.
the good folks at Forbes.
Yes.
Shout out to Joey.
Joe Crack,
The
the dumb,
Don. Big
Yo,
brother,
Rich
yo.
Player, what up?
Rich Player,
What's good?
and Dougie Fresh.
Dougie, wow.
All right, so
Legend.
let's get into this. Let's get into this World Economic Forum. I did not sign Illuminati contract.
We did not.
I'm not sure what you did.
Yo, go
I wasn't-
leave me out there.
I wasn't with you the whole trip.
You was with me, man. We did not sign.
I can only speak for myself.
I was with you, man.
I'm holding.
How many drops of blood y'all gave when I got out there?
The offer wasn't high enough. I'll be honest. The offer wasn't high enough.
I'm holding out. I'm holding out.
We did go into some rooms.
You get the email?
It was dangerous, but we made it out.
Oh man,
Candles everywhere. It was.
it was
That's why Ian had those masks.
It was definitely candles. In
It was a precursor.
people's like,
candles. Yo, the candles was
Party baby.
crazy. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into
Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. We got deals to do.
Nah, I wish I was joking. It's real talk, bro. Real talk.
No, I know.
If you know, you know.
Let me.
Penthouse vibes.
Yo,
Dre, what up?
Let me. All right, let's get into this. Let's have a serious. Let's be serious about this for a minute. So, a lot of people, a lot of people they thought it was dope that we was there. Some people were less than enthusiastic about us being at the World Economic Forum. And, they said that this is the place where, Illuminati, that's why we made the Illuminati reference. Illuminati and the people that run the world come to make decisions about the world. And yeah, pretty much true. But my thing is that if we're a media company, right? If we're a financial media company, why will we not be at the place where 200 billionaires are, where world economic policy is being discussed, where the most powerful people in the world are at? I don't know. Like, would you criticize Forbes for being there? Because they were there. Would you criticize Wall Street Journal for being there? Because they were there. Would you
CNBC.
criticize CNBC for being there? They were there.
Mm-hmm.
But you only criticize Us because you think you know us. We're the homies. We're the homies. So you look at the black business like we're not a real business. You don't look at us like a real media company. You look at us like we're just so naive and we're so stupid that we're gonna go and we're gonna sign lifetime contracts to Illuminati, and now we're gonna change our content, and we're gonna, like, you have such little faith in yourself because we are you. So when you look at us, you look at yourself. So you have such little faith in yourself that you think any level of temptation, any level of being around somebody, and oh my God, I gotta sign this contract now, like.
Yeah.
Are they projecting?
But you never would even think that about CNBC. Mm-hmm. CNBC's there to cover the event. They there to talk to people. They there to network. Wall Street Journal. I've never heard nobody talking about Wall Street Journal. Fox News. You never have none of that energy for that. But when we go there, instead of saying, yo, that's dope, earn your leisures at the World Economic Forum, like, that's dope.
I've never heard of that.
Which is a big deal.
Heard of it. Now you watch a documentary and now you're an expert on economic policy and what this governs and climate change, and people saying like, y'all better not come back and talk about this and that. Like, at some point, you gotta understand that you're limiting yourself by trying to limiting others. And this is why I understand why when you see people, they don't tell you what they do. They don't share the information. They're not giving you the insight. They could just run off with the plug themselves. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could have just went and you would have never even known where we were at. And all the information that we got, you could have never got. You would have never got none of this. Right. And it's just like, where were you at? I was up nowhere. Nowhere.
I want to nowhere. And we know people. We saw people there who who have never told you that they've gone. And they're never going to tell you that they've gone. And they're never going to share information that they went or the people that they met. When you look at us, for 4 years, that's all we have done. So to think we would do anything other than that is really confusing to me, right? Like, this is a situation where it's like, you really can't talk what we talk if you ain't been where we've been. And we're in places, not just for the sake of us, but the sake of opening opportunities. So the fact that we're out there now, it educates people. Yeah, they have to research what it is. They have to research what happens there. That might not have happened had we not going, right? But on top of that, we not to
and you guys got invited.
And right? We got invited. But we get to be in circles. Some people
that pay $2 million a year to go.
We get to be in circles that now validate the space, right? That people never thought was possible. How could you reach this audience, right? On top of that, people recognize what we're doing, right? So if they recognize us, that means they recognize you. But nobody's looking at it like that. I was disappointed. I read the comments. I'm just like, why would y'all think we would actually switch up just because we went to a place where, if you think about it, and I know somebody was like, yo, it wasn't 200 billionaires. Yeah, well, maybe there was because we were there and some of them didn't report and you didn't even know some of the people were there. But if this is the largest accumulation of wealth, right, in the world, and there's opportunities to meet CEOs and opportunities to network and opportunities to gain funding and gain resources, why wouldn't we be there?
I'm telling you, a lot of you guys are idiots. And
thanks, Daddy.
No, a lot of you guys are idiots. And it's mostly the men. It's mostly the men. You guys are idiots. And the thing about it,
no, for real. If this was women,
arrogant pride. It's arrogant pride that you don't know what you're talking about. Like somebody was like, we all know what's going on over there. No, you don't, because you've never been. You don't. You really don't. I'm trying to help you.
I never thought I would see the day Troy Rashad be upset and I would be calm.
Yeah, I'm not even upset. I just want people to really understand.
It's not even upset. It's reality. But you're the biggest
disappointment.
These people are the biggest hindrance to moving forward. Because everything you do, you're so critical, and then it's you sold your soul and you sold your company and you did this and you speak with so much false information. And this is why people, after a certain, I understand, they're not coming back.
Why they just walk away?
They're never gonna come back. They're never gonna come back because you don't understand how when you speaking to them, you think that makes them feel good. So they're like, all right, this is how you feel about it. Then figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Hello, GTS, JP Morgan.
Somebody's like,
Citadel.
what's something that we learned? I'll tell you this. What I learned. There's a lot of things I learned. and we kind of spoke about it last week. Be prepared, right? Just by happenstance, we happened to walk into CEOs of company. We met the CEO of Cloudflare. We met the CEO of Avalanche. Not like somebody who works for Avalanche, the actual creator of Avalanche. We met the CEO of USDC, the number one stablecoin and crypto company. We met the CEO of Forbes. Not because we just happened to be walking into these people. So be prepared for the opportunity. When they heard what we were doing, they said, you know what the next thing they said? How can we partner? How can we help? Right? I met one of the leading financial institutions in India. And he said, look, I love what you guys are doing. How can we work together? How can we help educate? And so networking at that level is different. It's just different. I also learned that the conversations that we are having need to be more advanced. And they need to be more advanced. They need to be more, number one, encouraging, and they need to be more thought provoking, because these are high level conversations, and it's not just the people that we're walking into, but I'm listening to the conversations that people are having. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. This is interesting. Like, the conversation that they have in our world changing, right? So when people are saying, yeah, this is where they come to meet, yeah, they are having world conversations. When we were inside a Palantir, I'm listening to the conversations, the AI conversations that they're having, the crypto conversations that they're having, the investment conversations that we're having. We're talking about nature, right? Like,
I'm gonna talk about that.
I know you're gonna go there, but it's like we're like behind in the terms of the level of topics that we're actually having as a community. So of course, are we gonna sit down with people that we met? Of course. That's the goal, to now have them share their expertise. And there's a lot of people, there's people that look like us. I met a brilliant man from Jamaica, and I'm not even gonna say his name because we're gonna sit down with him and share his story, but incredible. One of the best architects in the world, has never had his story told. We met him on stage. Okay, well now we get to share his information with the world, and we get to share it with our community, because it's only gonna uplift us and help us grow and advance. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is about. How do we advance? How do we get into these spaces that they never thought we could be in? So yeah, Dre is a genius. People look like, why? Dre is a genius because he went there 1 year, and the next year he said, I'm going to do something to make sure that we're represented. There's people who've been there for 10 years and have never thought that.
And never
thought that.
Absolutely.
The fact that he brought us, the fact that he brought Fat Joe, the fact that he brought Dougie Fresh, the fact that we were there with the Cultural Leadership Fund, it tells you, all right, representation is coming, and it's going to continue.
So
we have to be prepared when we walk into those rooms.
Let me just say some stuff that I learned. Well, first, the first day we get there at night, we run into Robert Smith, and the last day that we're there at night, we run into Robert Smith. That tells you what kind of vibe it was. Ran into him twice, the first day and the last day. Spoke to him for about 40 minutes each time. Very insightful conversation. All right. One of the things that was very insightful for me when I was actually listening, because it's different things that go on, different pop-up events and different symposiums, different things of nature. So I went to one, and they were talking about the guy was talking about nature being a board member on his board, and he was like, they set a precedent where a company already did it, and they put nature as a board member. And so he was saying for his company, he's going to put I believe it was the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is going to be a board member. But so when you put nature as a board member, you got to have somebody that represents the interest of the nature. So it's like, I could put Mount Kilimanjaro as a board member, but then I got to have somebody to actually speak for that entity. So it'd be like, all right, Troy, you represent Mount Kilimanjaro. But what he's going to do is, and this is going to be the first time this has ever happened, he's going to have AI. He's going to have artificial intelligence represent the ocean. So the ocean is a board member, and then he's going to have AI. It's going to be the first AI board member in America, I believe, or he's not even based in America. It's going to be the first AI board member. His goal is to have the first AI board member. So this Web3 talk, heavy in Davos. ChatGPT, AI, Web3, Not really so much crypto, but heavy.
Africa.
I'm gonna talk about Africa.
Okay.
Heavy. Web 3.0 was probably 70% of the conversations that I was around.
Yeah.
Like I said, from every aspect of it, but heavy on artificial intelligence, heavy on the chat GBT, heavy on all of that stuff, like the stuff that we've been talking about, but just next level. Like having an AI. Imagine having AI as a board member. Like we having a board conversation with 5 people, and then there's an actual AI computer that's having a conversation with us about the direction that Apple should go in as a company. And then they was talking about how AI was getting programmed in Saudi Arabia, and they was programming it with the religion, and they was teaching AI, the religion, and kind of looking at the future that way. And they was just saying how different governments throughout the world were already using AI to program for the next 100 years. The AI conversations is crazy. That was mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
The Africa House, definitely went to the Africa House. That was dope as well. Very insightful conversation over there as well. And they were saying, their goals and their plans as far as Africa. That was extremely insightful because they were saying that it's 55 countries in Africa.
55, yep.
And only, I think, 3 countries currently have unrestricted passport. So it's like, so they were saying like for Americans can go to Africa and travel more freely in Africa than Africans from Africa. Because it's like, so many different politics with different countries and like, so they're like, they have to open up their borders for Africans. So that was like a major push where they want to try to get to a point where, like how in Europe, where you can just travel all throughout Europe if you're part of the EU. So they was like, they were working on trying to have a more united African front for trade, travel, and they were saying that when they was talking about that, one of the reporters had asked them like, do you think that this is a good idea, like to have like unity, like to have, and they were like, well, the EU is one of the most successful things that's ever happened, and did you ask them? Did you ask them if it was a good idea when they decided to do it? So I thought it was interesting to kind of hear that play, but from an African perspective, and they were saying that another thing that he said, I forgot the gentleman's name, but they were saying like, I think he was talking about cocoa, and he was like, the Europeans don't like the cocoa, they gotta change the way it tastes, and he was like, well, we have enough people in Africa where we don't have to worry about the Europeans. He was like, we don't have to export. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like we could, like they're on pace to have 2 billion people. Mm-hmm. So he was like, that's a misconception as well. Like where it's like, we don't have to try to cater to outside people. There's enough resources and enough people, because I think 1/5 of the world's population over the next 20 years is going to be in Africa. They have the youngest population in the world, and they have the fastest growing population in the world. So they was really talking about really controlling their resources, really opening up their borders. But this is what I'm saying. Like we having these kind, and y'all trying to debate me about Illuminati, and y'all talking about whether Shannon Sharp is fighting with LeBron James, and if Ian didn't give the access for Madison Square Garden, like.
That's why I moved to Mexico.
Listen.
You don't say, can't hear you.
Listen, we on the plane. We on the plane to get to Davos. On the plane to get to Davos from Newark, New Jersey. On the plane, sitting next to each other, is Oliver Stone and Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Crazy.
Oliver Stone. If you don't know who Oliver Stone is, Oliver Stone, he created the movie Wall Street. Andrew Ross Sorkin works for CNBC, and he created Billions. So the guy that created Billions and the guy that created Wall Street sitting next to each other. Andrew Ross Sorkin spoke to him. He said, "Yo, I've been watching your content for 3 years." He said, I wrote a letter to NBC 3 years ago and said, I don't know who these guys are or what they're doing, but you need to sign them. You need to work with them.
You need to find them and sign them.
You need to find them and sign them.
Hi, Mary.
But
Straight up.
We can talk again.
This is the conversations that I'm having. Then I'm coming back and I gotta argue with people on Twitter.
Don't argue with the people on Twitter.
This is the kind of nonsense. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, all right, at what point it's a risk reward ratio? At what point do you stop arguing with Twitter, and now you don't know where I live. Now it's over. Now the show.
I vote right now.
Now there is no more market.
Playa, Dubai, Ghana, hey, Big Fendi. Hey, we can wrap this shit up today. What we doing? I'm moving to New York right now. Edgewater, what's happening?
Edgewater, New Jersey.
You already know. We hawking something. You know what I mean? We doing? I'll go to Secaucus. Hey, AB, set it up. I'll come shoot every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What's happening? Pre-record all the episodes. Series.
It's all love, man. Shout out to everybody. Love, man. We just lead with love. We just gonna keep leading with love. That's all we're gonna do. Just keep leading with love.
Gotta be mindful, man. Be extremely mindful.
And you don't think if industry is making traction as the hottest new investor show, Andrew Ross Sorkin and Oliver Stone are sitting and thinking maybe we can make a movie or something better than that? And
yeah, you never know. You never know.
It's the rooms, man.
Stone a few times.
What can you do?
You never know.
But we can go on and on about the World Economic Forum. That's a couple of highlights that I personally took. Like I said, it was a life-changing situation.
That's all of us.
So many people there, networking, meeting people, talking.
Oh, Bezos bought the Commanders. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we can't forget that.
He just bought it? It's official?
He owns Washington.
Yeah. He sold Washington Post.
Well, he says he was selling the Washington Post to buy the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Smith is up to something big too. So shout out to Robert Smith. He was actually talking about his initiative to get broadband. He spoke about that on the show actually. Mm-hmm. Broadband access to HBCUs. That's one of the things that he spoke about at Davos. And he told us about something else that he's working on.
He's up to something.
He's up to something.
No.
Yes.
Big. He's up to something big.
Speaking of big, can we announce?
Not yet. Not yet. All right. TikTok confirms that employees have the ability to decide what goes viral.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I want your thoughts, man. From a social media standpoint.
Yeah, I'll line this up for you.
Yeah, what you think, man?
TikTok's the devil. Go ahead, say it.
They're not the first to do it.
To make the employees decide to go viral?
Yeah. They said that, so there's reports, and this is part of the lawsuit with Facebook, that they were having the same thing happening there. And so they had to pay that $40 million lawsuit.
To
who? Who sued? Was it the SEC investigated them?
I believe so. Or FTC.
Yeah, so they had to pay a $40 million lawsuit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough.
That's not good. I don't think that's good. People should decide what goes viral. Not an algorithm, not employees, definitely not employees. What makes the employees want to? What makes them? The people should be able to decide what goes viral.
Makes it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my dad didn't work at this VC for the people to decide what goes viral or shy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But imagine the unfair advantage if you're like a content creator that's actually making great content, and somebody's deciding like, nah, we're good on that, and decides to put some nonsense and say like, oh, I'm cool with them, or I'm close to that company, or that company has my best interest in mind, so let me highlight that. Like, you number one gonna discourage that creator, but you're also making it an unfair advantage, obviously.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Meta's done it endlessly, right? YouTube has done it. I can name you 22 channels of random white kids that have 7 and 15 million followers. Can't name definitely black creators easily. Yes or no? And the videos they put up not even good. TikTok is just the one that's got caught. Snapchat used to do it back in the day.
Yeah.
Just politics
they
as
said
usual.
that it's 0.0002% of the videos that happens to, and then they did another study and they saw that it was like actually 3% of the videos that it happens to. So, yeah.
Everybody that went viral was super crazy. Like, they weren't of our hue usually. Like, people are like, yo, upload to TikTok, and if you use these hashtags, you can get 9 million views. None of them.
I will say this. I met the #1 TikToker. Kabi, I forgot his. I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Oh my man,
Good brother from Senegal.
Yeah,
He's the number one TikToker in the world, and he's black.
Doesn't say a word.
He don't even speak. The kid, he's a rock star. He's a rock star. I don't know how he
fire.
Whatever his algorithm play, he got the algorithm play, and he's actually a very good dude. He's actually a very good dude.
That's solid. We heard him speak.
Met his girlfriend. Yeah. I didn't know
he actually recorded a message to Jordan, to my daughter, to say hello.
I took a picture with him.
Yeah, I did. I got a whole video.
I gotta see where that's at, man. I gotta go viral. I gotta go viral.
Real quick, hey,
I gotta go viral off this, man. That dude's he's a viral. He doesn't even talk.
Yeah,
that's smart though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's another good lesson to stop talking. Right?
Yes. Yep.
Got something there.
Yep. Yep. Shout out.
AB, set up our next no talk meeting.
Let's try this. Just words. Words with friends. Shout out to Megan on the check-in.
She's in here.
Hey, Megan. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday again.
I appreciate you so much.
A16Z. Culture Leadership Fund. Shout out to Chris Lyons. Shout out to Judine. Shout out to
Judine, what up?
To the whole team over there at the Culture Leadership Fund.
That's the family. We're going to see them a few more times this year.
I would assume so. All right. Last one. Is Microsoft, Palantir, Amazon, and NVIDIA the four we should invest in for the AI space? And before we go to this, I just want to say this AI conversation is happening, man.
Exciting.
It's happening. And I'm telling you, this Web3 thing is real. This Web3 thing is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
Yeah.
That's why we're seeing the destruction of a lot of tech companies currently.
Yeah, it's happening. And there's gonna be so much evolution in this space over the next 10 years. Like, you're not even gonna even believe it.
Yeah. That's why like the efforts that Robert Smith is doing, trying to get broadband, like I said last week, it's the number one, make sure that we have access to it, but we're educating ourselves so we can actually be part of the conversation and part of the solution to how to benefit from it. Because there's nothing to do to stop it. That's what they're talking about. So it's just about implementation, but the education has to come first.
So are those the four companies for AI?
Two of them I love. I'm not the biggest fan of Palantir, but I'm not going to be dumb enough to ruin any future relationships. I think Peter Thiel is an amazing CEO. He does not get enough credit at PayPal. I think the agenda there present and currently I don't like. It's always been the case. But I do like Microsoft in that space. I do love NVIDIA. NVIDIA, Palantir could be a force to be reckoned with over the next couple of years. I'm scared what they'll do with technology.
Right.
But Microsoft and NVIDIA, like, I love without my heart. And I think they'll be one of the few tech companies. If this, like, old era is Web 2, that's why I said, like, the FANG era is dead, they'll be one of the ones that survives and thrives. But a lot of these companies that are Web 2 based, that have no real competitive advantage, they're going to die out. Creators have to, and I'll say this too, have to be very careful, because in this new royalty model in Web3, you think the thievery was bad on the venture capital and AI side, it's going to be even worse when Web3 is pushed that scale. So you have to be careful. And also, going back to the Davos conversation, while I hit the banking part, you need to go Google what the solvency ratio of a bank is before you put your money there. Good solvency ratio is like 10 to 15. 20 is a little bit too high for me. Some people like 20, but 10%. So like the probability of a bank going under, you need to know before you put your money there. But going back to the Davos conversation, if you want to be a great investor, you have to be in some of these rooms to hear what's coming next.
Yeah, and then it's like people
to be able to know venture side, private equity, then retail or public equity. There's a chain. You have AI, then venture, then private equity, then to public consumption or public equity. Yeah. If you don't know what they're talking about that they're going to invest in over the next 10, 15 years, you're behind.
Yeah, it's like people like, yo, this is where the white supremacy. I mean, if that was a determining factor, I wouldn't live in America.
Big facts. Or invest in the stock market.
If that's what Ye said years ago. If racism was a no go situation, then we wouldn't even be here. Like you go to work every single day for somebody. What you think that they passionately care about you and your children's future? Your boss? You think that the principal of your child's school is embedded in your community and wants the best for you? You think the head of your local municipality is championing African American studies and wants to do research on how to get reparations for you? No, they don't. They don't care about you. Nobody cares about you.
But we do.
It's like this is the harsh reality of life. It's just business. Nobody cares about you. We didn't grow up together. Like what makes you think? I don't understand. You live in a society that is arguably one of the most racist countries in the history of the world. This was built on slavery. It was built on racism.
Slavery was America's first startup.
What you think you're going to get out of this? Like, you think like this is the ultimate, like, oh, well, Illuminati is going to be in a secret temple in a Da Vinci Code. No, it's right here. It's right now. It's right here. It's in New York.
I can point you a spot in Paris.
It's in DC. Like it's in Texas.
You gotta go to the Louvre.
You don't have newsflash. You don't have to go to some secret overseas destination to find that. Go to Mississippi. It's right here. You can't see that.
Or Martinsville, Indiana. Shout out to all my people in Bloomington. Boy.
Oh boy. Ian, so wait, just real quick. Which out of the four did you like? You said Microsoft, Palantir, Amazon, NVIDIA. You like all four, or?
I like Amazon. I like Microsoft, Amazon, and NVIDIA.
Palantir, no.
Palantir
is ranked the #1 worldwide artificial intelligence software in the world right now.
What are they using it for?
Well, it started out for government contracting, right? But then, so like I'm talking to these gentlemen as I'm standing in their activation. And he's like, yo, this is just different level, the next technology that they got. Like, it was one thing to use data analytics, obviously, for government. But the next thing was, now they want to know, like, bigger than what you're eating, right? Or where you're going. They want to know, like, to the specifics, like, what do you like on Tuesdays at 5? Like, their data analytics are becoming that streamlined and that specific, which I know when you hear it, it sounds crazy, but it's what's happening.
It is.
It sounds crazy, and it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is really invasive. But we had conversations with the young lady who was doing the billboards and how they track your API. I'm just like, yo, this is.
Well, the thing about
it's like super invasive. But it's happening.
I'm gonna speak freely, but carefully.
The AI, they said they one of the AI had developed Alzheimer's.
Really?
Like and when I was listening to the conversation.
Alzheimer's.
No, Alzheimer's.
I got you.
So it's like
because I don't want them to clip it up and be like,
it's getting to a point where it's not really too much of a difference between a person and a computer.
I will say, if people are upset at Cambridge Analytica and the genius that is Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, who provided funding for Mark Zuckerberg, is probably 2 times as smart, and Mark is no slouch. I will be very careful with where their data ends up if you've understood the history of Palantir. The thoughts, views expressed here on Market Mondays is just Ian's and Red Pandas. There's no reflection for Troy.
That's my thoughts, man.
Right. But just my thoughts.
That's how I was feeling.
But I'm going to learn. Hey, I'm going to go be quiet too and just go get back from everybody else.
The thinnest slice.
And if I put you in money, put us in chat.
The thinnest slice strategy. I got that from Steve Stout. I'll explain that later. But that will be a masterclass. Yes. That's a masterclass. Sorry.
Shout out to Stout.
Thinnest.
What companies are you guys, put in chat, are you most excited about that you think will run AI over the next 5 years? Also, Microsoft laid off 10,000 people and then, voila, I invested here.
10 billion.
Wow, locking down and locking everyone out and taking all the data and all your emails and recording all your conversations in the office and da-da-da. We are getting to scary times.
Yeah.
It's
better to be aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2030. I told you. Especially us. I want us of our color. Oh, my skin popping a little bit right in the sun and shit. Um, I want those of us of our color to be aware we're going to get let go first. You're going to have to learn how to provide a result that no one else on earth can. If you think applicant hiring systems were tough before, wait till they put that AI veneer on top of it as well. It's getting tough.
They're gonna have diversity. They're gonna have diversity programs for AI.
Absolutely. But go ahead. Go see Job and Rant Square 36. As if it shot the jaw. As if it mattered. That was a phenomenal dunk he had, old boy.
There's a couple of dunks that happened. What you call it too?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was two-handed.
Yeah, that was going crazy.
Watch your head.
I may go be Ja after this.
Watch your head.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, real quick before you do that, let me just give the earnings because earnings season is here. And that company that we just spoke about, Microsoft, will be reporting tomorrow. A couple of semis. Texas Instrument will be reporting. 3M, Raytheon will be reporting tomorrow. Wednesday. Elon Musk and Tesla will be reporting. Boeing, ServiceNow, ASML, one of my favorites, will be reporting, and Lam Research. They've been doing pretty well. Shout out to Lam Research. Thursday, we got Visa and MasterCard and Intel. And Friday, we have Chevron and Amex.
I love Visa.
So
I love Amex too.
It's that time of earnings when the big boys are coming out. And so we'll see how this week goes.
Tune in next
week.
Go ahead, Rashad.
We will have Joseph Biden, who will be a guest. And we will have American flags all over the place.
Yes, diplomatic community will be in the background.
That's funny.
He
needs it.
Diplomatic community.
We need a little boost.
Diplomatic community.
That's one of my favorite albums.
It's classic.
Where on Cossack?
That's
a shame how I rap so bananas. Call me Two Gun What? Boy, went crazy.
Shout out to Drizzy,
Legendary.
man. Shout out to Drizzy.
Champagne Poppy
came to New York and put on a show.
We got to redo the Apollo. That inspired me.
We did the Apollo.
We gotta have people fall out the rafters though.
You can.
That's
if you in that top deck,
jump down for the snipers program.
It's different.
What can insurance look like?
Eric Adams. We have not had a meeting with him yet. Priority. Choose your priorities. Choose your priorities.
Or listen, I've learned when you aren't welcome to one space, go to another. They greeted me well.
I respect it, but I would just say this. He's been going to a lot of rap concerts.
Mm-hmm.
We sold out Madison Square Garden.
Shout out Mano.
We sold out Madison Square Garden for education. I did not see him there.
True.
So
it's true.
When we're trying to paint a better picture for the youth in New York City, and we're trying to save education,
economic opportunity for them.
Let's be mindful. Let's be mindful because it's important.
Yeah. And I saw he was talking with Jim Jones, and that was some of the things that Jimmy was saying. He's like, yo, I got this community center that I'm building on 135th, and this is what I'm going to have inside of it, and I'm going to teach these kids about business. And so it's good that Jimmy's having that conversation with him, but, I mean, there's some other guys that, probably could also have the conversation with him. Just saying.
Shout out to Jim Jones.
Just saying.
Friend of the program.
Absolutely.
I like Jimmy.
All right.
It's okay. Listen, I like pineapple you shotty.
Jimmy.
You pineapple shotty, now I'm Ian. Just peace, serenity, and love, my brother. It's okay. Now I just need one episode of you like how I was in Vegas, and then
that was different. No, that was different. That was legendary. I still got that video.
And the market fell apart like crazy since then.
That was so legendary.
I tried to warn y'all.
So legendary.
There you have it.
I need a mariachi band in the back for
we got happy birthday. We got one more happy birthday. Happy birthday to Ronnie Brown.
Happy birthday. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ronnie Brown.
Alley-oop to you,
Ronnie Brown.
Happy birthday, Ron.
This is very important.
Listen up, folks.
Can I get the camera angle?
Yeah, let's zoom in on him, please.
EYL Network. Can I get the zoom in, please?
I got you.
Very, very important.
I got you.
EYL Network.
You saw that transition?
Transition was fire, my boy.
On EYL Network. Earn Your Leisure. Show. High level conversations.
Phenomenal.
Market Mondays.
Phenomenal.
Rants and Gems.
Phenomenal. Shout out to my guy, man. I love you.
Inside the Vault.
Phenomenal. It's my dog.
This has been probably the greatest run. I hate the word, but podcast history.
Short films.
Yes.
Yeah.
The newest show to EYL Network is the first woman-led show. Ronnie Brown, Girl CEO.
She's dope.
Very important content. She's going to be talking about relationships, money, business, health, everything from a woman's perspective. We're not tampering with this. We're not touching it. It's her. It's her. 100% all her. Guests is all her. Dope. Another one. Another hit show. Another one. Another one.
Yeah. Ronnie Show is
daytime show. This will be a daytime show. 12 o'clock on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
So next Monday. So you get the lunch and you get the dinner same day. 12 o'clock on Monday. Girl CEO starting next Monday. We'll be doing rollout this week.
Ronnie, when you do the relationship talks, invite your boy. I got some of the spice.
Ronnie, she's one of them ones, man.
She's the best, man. Shout out to Ronnie.
She's a star.
Shout out to Ronnie, man. I'm very excited for her. I'm very excited that we're able to amplify, women, black women. Very important, because that's part of the criticism that we have received is that the content is too male driven. So we're trying to balance it out. So this is our first woman fully driven show. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. It's going to be, vibes, the whole nine. So Girl CEO, man. Girl CEO next Monday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Ronnie. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Make sure y'all check it out. Support, show love, give us feedback. And shout out to everybody that watched Dame Dash and 19 Keys interview too.
Yeah. 100,000 in a day.
That's viral. That's another one. That's another viral one.
Rashad, I'm gonna tell you like you tell me. When we get off these calls, man, don't let people get on their skin.
No, it's all good, man. I appreciate. I don't want
to throw rocks from the throne.
Some of the things. It's disheartening.
I know it's frustrating. I know. Break your heart.
Disheartening, man.
I'm supposed to be number one on everybody's list.
It's disheartening, man, and it's not polite. Some of the things that are said aren't polite. So it's a little discouraging.
Yeah, stay encouraged, man. Be encouraged.
Stay encouraged.
Stay encouraged out here, man. We all we got.
Must stay encouraged at all times.
We all we got.
Before we leave,
what you got?
Don't forget to vote.
Yes.
We are nominated for NAACP.
Come on, we need y'all.
Award. We are nominated for NAACP award for best social media personalities.
Yeah.
Thank you to the NAACP board.
Did we just lose Ian?
Not sure. Thank you to the NAACP board. But yeah, it goes by popular vote. So if you would be so gracious, if you are inclined to vote, the tab is on our website.
My bad for the technical error.
Under the NAACP award. It's on our website. So you can vote. You can vote one time a day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
run it up.
Appreciate that. That'll be your way. If you've gained any level of value from the last 4 years, we just made our 4-year anniversary of Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah. I was going to end with that. Yeah. Happy anniversary to EYL, man. 4 years. Mike, what up? Happy anniversary to everybody that's helped us get here. We used to say let's just get one listener a day, and that's turned into millions of people, which means million lives what impacted. So we are full of gratitude for all the love that y'all shown. And like you've always done, right, from the day one, it was like tell somebody to tell somebody, tell a friend to tell a friend. And that's how we grew, man. So
if y'all can do anything different from the beginning, what would you do?
That's a loaded
Joe Theory ain't work, Joe. Like
That's a loaded question.
Everything's staying together.
That's a loaded question.
Only lessons, no losses.
That's a loaded question. I definitely would do some things different. But
That I know a few.
I would not. I don't want to.
Sure,
I
funny, bro.
don't want to say this on Market Mondays, but
No, we can't. Private.
private.
These are kitchen
The
talks.
private. The private.
Kitchen talks be fire,
we
yo.
The private.
Yeah.
The private. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in to Market Mondays. We want to end.
Everybody put in chat. We love you,
We
strong
gonna always
shot.
end with love, but
Yes.
never. You gotta be careful when people talk to you crazy, man. It's important to don't get bullied in this world because this world is full of bullies, and cyber bullying
That's a bar.
is at an all-time high these days.
It is.
So we must encourage our children, and we must encourage ourselves to never fall victim to cyber bullies. Never allow yourself to become bullied. That's a major key.
It's a valuable lesson in life.
Major key.
Yeah.
Whenever Shotty get on this vibe, yo, there's something big coming. There's one person who's solely responsible for a lot of destruction. Shotty called me, hey man, I'm just tired of this, so I'm just that conversation was legendary.
Napalm. Napalm bomb.
Yeah.
When he dropped that tone, something coming.
Love, man. All right, man. Y'all be good. Y'all be good. Y'all take care of each other.
Y'all passed it to 500K?
$500,000.
Boy, Ish, you got to come on next week. You got some explaining to do, my boy. I love you.
And also put in the comments who you would what guests you would like to see on Market Mondays. We're reloading our guest list for 2023. Definitely want to bring in some guests. We've had a lot of legendary guests.
Yeah.
So it would be dope to relook at the guest list, see who can add value in a variety of different areas of business, investing. So let us know what guest you would like to see us bring on, and nobody's out of reach. So feel free to put whoever you think would be beneficial.
Yeah, whoever you would like.
Let's see if we can potentially make that happen for you. We have some big announcements coming soon.
Big.
Big episode tomorrow with the Black Bread Company. Shout out to those brothers out of Chicago. Check that out at 8:00 on our YouTube channel and all podcast outlets. And catch us in Puerto Rico tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
If you see us, chuck the deuce. Speak to me in Spanish.
Let's go.
I'm learning. So
me too. Azul. I'm learning.
And I'm
Bacardi.
Yeah.
keep a translator.
Yes.
You got to keep a translator. That's one of those keys in life too.
Keep it translated.
Well, none of my exes teach me Spanish. I'd be a terrorist if I did some Spanish right now. I need a good Duolingo teacher.
Heard you.
Yeah.
There you go. Add that to the Tinder profile.
Please.
It's been real.
Y'all be good, man.
Shannon Sharp, hold your head.
He apologized.
Did he?
Yeah. Big
Please,
on the whole
that's my
apology.
guy.
Nah,
Today?
man. Yeah, today.
On the show?
Live on the show. He apologized.
Shout out to Shannon Sharp, man.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Y'all know how this goes, man.
You got a bad comment.
Please
too.
take care of each other. Reach out. Text somebody, call somebody. It's very important, man. We got to keep our family close. So the only way to do that is just to reach out, just check in on everybody. So shout out to everybody that does that. I know a lot of people text and they hit us up, and we try to get back as many people as possible. And it doesn't mean we don't love y'all. We do. We just get caught up a lot of times. But I appreciate everybody that reaches out. My man Ken, shout out to Kenny Burns, is one of those people who just always reaches out just to check on how we're doing, just from a physical and a mental standpoint. So love is love, man. We love y'all. Yeah. Be good this week. Have travel mercies. Peace.
Have a blast. Te amo.